Scorpio, how are we today? Just doing your weekly readings. It's that time of month where we're going to do the monthly check-in readings as well. So make sure you do subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date with all the videos. Leave me a comment. Let me know if there's any specific topics you would like me to delve into. I'd be more than happy to take those on board. But today we are using the Mystic Dreams Oracle. I have here with me the Career and Money Oracle, as well as the Mystic Red Rose Love Oracle. Clarifying everything this week with the Primitive Lenormand. All right. Brand new deck, guys. It is gorgeous. I'm in love with it. But getting into it for you, Scorpio. Scorpio. So I've got quite a broad Scorpio collective that, I do have quite a few friends and family that are Scorpio placements, very strong. So it's always interesting to me when I do the Scorpio readings as to, which one of them is going to be, leading the collective this week. Obviously, they are collective readings, though, guys. So, take what resonates, leave the rest. Check your other placements as well if you aren't resonating with this particular one. Scorpio, what's going on for Scorpio in October 2025? What does Scorpio need to know in regards to October? Bit of hope for you, Scorpio. There we go. Bright future, hope, adventure, creativity. A reason, it's kind of like this reminder that the sun will rise again, Scorpio. No matter how bleak and dark things may look at certain times in our life, the sun will always rise again. Creativity, very important for you this month. I know that one's going to hit home with at least one of my Scorpios because she's been avidly painting this month. We're big on Halloween. So she's been painting the Scream guy. Oh, and she's done some beautiful stuff with that. So if you're in Australia, get on the Violet Moon Facebook and have a look at the I think she'll be selling them through there eventually as well. So keep an eye out for those if you're connected to that. I do have the details about Violet Moon in my description box. But we will clarify that because for the rest of you, adventure. That sounds very intriguing to me as well. What's the big adventure for you this month, Scorpio? That you do have a very bright future. There's a lot of reasons to hold on to hope this month. Let's have a look. Scorpio, what's going on for Scorpio throughout October? What does Scorpio need to know October? And the hidden energy I'm seeing here is amazing for you, Scorpio. Okay, so the hidden energy I'm seeing here too is, wishes coming true, a lot of growth, maturity, healing, long-term healing, long-term growth and wisdom coming through, as well as happiness, wishes coming true. Because you've been transforming, okay? We have the coffin here. There's some stuff that has come to an end for you, and for a lot of you, it's the negativity. For a lot of you, it's the stuff that you wanted to transform in your life that's coming to an end. The stuff that was no good for you coming to an end has come to an end for a lot of you. You're in the midst of that transformation. All right, so it's telling me I need to point out the fact that the coffin card here, you can see quite clearly, is the number 8. What else is that? Infinity, yeah? It doesn't stop. It's death, it's life, it's death, it's life, it's death, it's life. It comes back around. Everything continues moving around. It's an infinite loop of, death and then rebirth, that every time something ends, there is a new beginning. Okay? The ending is just the beginning. The ending of something is just the beginning of something else. So you're really moving into that phase, moving through that phase, I should say. For a lot of you, the endings have already occurred, and where, October is about the new beginnings, the reason to have hope, the bright future coming through. The sun will rise again, kind of thing. Light and dark, light and dark. It's life and death, light and dark, light and dark. The loop is continuing here. All right. So, the things that have come to an end here, we do see the clouds coming through here as well. So for a lot of you, you're not able to see clearly that the new beginning is here. Okay. You are struggling a little bit to see the new beginning is here. You're stuck on the death. Yeah. You're stuck on the death rather than seeing the rebirth. You're stuck on the endings rather than seeing the new beginnings that have been created from those endings. So you are just a little bit up in your head. I feel like this is specific to this. These two do seem to be very, very specific to the energy we're coming into October with. All right. So you are just a little bit clouded at the start of the month here. I feel as though that is going to clear up pretty quickly for you throughout the month. Just be careful not to sort of dwell on your thoughts too much and overthink things, because there may be some issues around anxiety that comes along with that as well, or depression, and you don't want to sort of put yourself in too much of a funk here, because there is a reason to hope. There is a new beginning on the backside of that ending. All right. We have the bear coming through for you. So you're stronger than you think, Scorpio. There's a lot of strength, confidence, power for you in yourself this month. Doing things for yourself and creating things for yourself. A lot of strength for you this month. Confidence comes through eventually. It may take a little while for some of you, but there is a lot of confidence there as well. Nurturing yourself in new kinds of ways and protecting yourself, from your own thoughts. I feel for a lot of you, it's protecting yourself from those negative thoughts that keep rattling around there. So just be aware of that, okay? There is a lot of, there is a bit of an abundance that comes through with that bear energy as well. He's a bit of a business bear, so he's very sort of strong and powerful in his own right, making money moves, I'm hearing. So for a lot of you, you're protecting yourself by, focusing on things like, well, I'm going to focus on creating abundance and moving forward into my bright future in that kind of a way, rather than focusing on necessarily other things, and just nurturing, the wealth and abundance within yourself. We do see the flowers here as well, the bouquet. Okay, so you're really giving it your all. Um, that feels like it's kind of a message of, as we progress throughout the month of October, the more that you give, the more that you're going to receive in return here. That, be very giving this month. It's kind of like giving things a chance, giving people a chance, giving your time, your love, your energy to people and things in your life. And the more that you're doing that, the more you're going to start receiving back as well. I do feel here that there is a little bit of a gift coming through for a couple of you as well, Scorpio. So maybe an early birthday gift or something along those lines. Because, we are heading into birthday season throughout October for you guys. So there may be some nice gifts on the way. So there's a reason to hope, even if it's just for that, right? That you might be sort of waiting for that gift to come through for you. But I do feel that for a lot of you, you're with the bear there, you're taking matters into your own hands. And if you're wanting, you're wanting to receive from somebody in particular, you're kind of taking matters into your own hands, and you're taking control of the situation, and kind of, the power's in my hands. I've got the confidence to get what I want here, and I'm going to give to this so that I can receive from this. So I am picking up on that as well for a couple of you. But looking at career and money for you, Scorpio. What's going on for Scorpio in October with money and career? Career and money throughout October for Scorpio. So we have the spiral coming through first for you, Scorpio. That does talk about things, being a little bit out of your own control here, climbing the ladder, an upward trend. So, the spiral goes upwards with this particular card, but it can be like things that are looping back around a little bit. So, like revisiting a job or having to redo something and redo it in a better, bigger kind of a way. So, it's telling me promotion and connections here as well. But, I'm getting promotion as in advertising. It's telling me promotion as in advertising, that you might be promoting yourself and promoting, and taking advantage of the connections that you have in order to promote yourself. So especially when it comes to, climbing the ladder and an upward trend, that this is spiraling out of control in a good way, that it's kind of like going viral for someone here, but it's kind of like revisiting a promotion that you've already run. Like if you're someone that runs advertising promotions for your business, for example, you're revisiting a previous promotion, but you're doing it bigger and better. And at this time it spirals out of control, and it really does have this big upward trend for you, which is interesting. We also have cutlery. Okay, so finessing the situation a bit here. Business tools, needing more money, but living well. It's very food-related careers. Being the sole provider for yourself, as well as, taking on more work, finessing things. I do get finessing with the cutlery card here. Very, very interesting. It's telling me about when I was a child at school. I remember one of my teachers. We had this game at school that we would play. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like you roll a dice, and every time someone rolled a 6, you got to go and sit at you'd go over to this, and on a plate with a knife and fork, you had to use the knife and fork to cut one single square off a chocolate block, and you could only cut one at a time, and you could keep going until somebody else rolled a 6. And so you only got as much chocolate. It was like total luck. It was just like, I don't know why, but you had to use a lot of finesse, because it's actually really difficult to, because if you then, cut more than the one piece. So if you broke it unevenly, or, it had to be the perfect square. And if you broke more than that, or broke it in half or anything like that, and you weren't allowed to use your fingers at all, you had to use the knife and fork. Then you had to go and sit down, and we just wait until the next person rolls the 6. But it's kind of like you're doing that, that you're having to be very finesse. It's telling me the finesse of prim and proper, cutting things out very equally. Um, so I don't know what that means, but for some of you, that may be somehow significant to your business plans, is that you're needing to cut out just one little square at a time, and then move on to the next square, and then the next square. Okay, so, and that there is still, a bit of luck and roll of the dice um, involved in how many squares you're allowed to get, or that you can get. It's skill, but it's also luck of the draw. So it's not really telling me how that connects for you on a work thing, but for someone there that makes sense. And yeah, that's. But looking at love and romance for you, Scorpio. Love and romance for our Scorpios throughout October, please. Love and romance for Scorpio in October. Whoa. Self-indulgence. Okay. Self-worth and value. It's time to heal. Shadow work and self-appreciation. All right. So this month, when on the love front, we are just sort of healing our heart. We have the healing heart there, but we do have the girl with the snake coming through before that, which is being charmed or used, enabling and boundaries. So there is a little bit of an issue here in the past. It feels like it's something that's happened in the past where you have been sort of, you're feeling charmed or used from something in the past here, that you've enabled somebody's bad behavior. So it's time to do the work here and heal from that, healing heart, healing heartbreak, toxicity or addictions, and abusive relationships. So, you really are healing from something this month. Quite a lot of you here, you're just sort of really doing what you need to do for you this month when it comes to love and romance, that you're taking time to focus on your self-worth and do the work, appreciate yourself and take care of yourself first and foremost. But I am picking up that some of you, there is someone around a couple of you here. Scorpio. Love and romance for the Scorpios that are connecting to people with love and romance this month. Okay, so Scorpio, we have the love call coming through. Ring, ring, pick up your phone. Expressing love, messages of love, thinking of you, and informing you. All right, but the expressing love stands out to me there, Scorpio. So I actually feel that for a lot of you, this is you expressing your love, because like I said at the beginning there, that giving, if you wish to receive, you need to give. And I feel like that's what's going on here, is that, for those of you who do wish to receive love and romance this month, and I feel like for a lot of you, it's someone in particular. Okay, it is someone specific. We do have the hammer coming through, and I feel like you're expressing to that person, like, I'm thinking of you. I can't stop thinking about you. Something like that. I don't know why I'm thinking about you, but I just can't stop thinking about you. And the hammer is, that sometimes we need to smash it to pieces so that we can rebuild. And that's what it's about. Rebuilding, persistence, working on it and repairing. So, repairing something that, and I'm not talking about, healing from this, this healing heart stuff. I'm not talking about repairing that. I'm not talking about repairing a relationship that's had, toxicity or addiction or abuse. Okay, I'm not talking about that at all. If that's the case for you, focus on your self-indulgence. Yeah, but this is for someone who, it's able to be rebuilt. Okay, and it's safe and healthy for it to be rebuilt. Okay. But I do feel as though for someone here, it's like you're expressing to someone, I've been thinking about you. I can't stop thinking about you. Can we rebuild and repair the connection? Okay. So I just want to get one on that, because if the Scorpio that's questioning if that is for them, who is that person? How will Scorpio know who that person is, please? I have the Garden. So the garden is my date card. So, and it's telling me that this is someone that you maybe haven't even met yet, because the garden sort of asks you to go and meet. So you might not have actually physically met in person this person. One more. As how will Scorpio know who that person is, please? Maybe somebody in the public, definitely with the moon coming through as well here. It may be somebody in the public eye in some way. Like most likely social media, with those two cards there. So maybe some emotional sensitivities have been stirred up in the past, and that's what needs to be repaired. Maybe this is someone you're feeling drawn to this person like a magnet. Yeah, you don't know why, but you feel very drawn to this person. You kept telling yourself that it's just a phase, but you still keep getting drawn back into that same person and wanting to, you know, there's something here about wanting to take them out on a date, or them wanting you to take them on a date, go out in public rather than, informal dates. Well, it still can be quite informal, because the garden normally would talk about, meeting for coffee, or, going for a walk through the park, or the walk along the beach, and those sorts of, casual dates, more so than a formal kind of date. Um, so express to that person. I feel like there's a lot of potential there with those two cards. There's usually always a lot of potential with those sorts of energies. Okay. Anything else that Scorpio needs to know in regards to October? Is there anything else that Scorpio needs to know in regards to October? Reword that, please. Reword that, please. It's actually talking more about that person. So this is actually, part of the adventure, part of the hope that some of you can have here, because even if this is not for you right here, right now, Scorpio, because I do feel as though, for quite a majority of the collective here, you're focusing on the self-indulgence, the healing, stuff this month when it comes to love. But this is kind of, like hope for the future for a lot of you, that that there's a logical part of you that is trying to focus on your own survival first and foremost, and you kind of been telling yourself, I do what I need to do. So the masculine side of it, the masculine energy comes across as a bit selfish player type energy here, um, whereas the feminine energy is actually a very stable energy here. So it's kind of just telling me that the masculine energy needs to actually start, looking from other perspectives. And as soon as the masculine energy starts looking from other perspectives, the feminine energy comes in with this blessing. The feminine energy is a blessing for you this month, Scorpio, and it stabilizes you. It keeps you very stable and secure. The feminine energy All right. So the masculine energy is the energy of, if this is just within you yourself, the masculine energy is the logical, rational brain side of yourself, right? And the feminine energy is your heart, following your passion, having hope, emotions, yeah, nurturing yourself. Um, so the masculine energy is the masculine energy just needs to look at other perspectives um, that aren't in regards to themselves, if that makes sense, because the masculine energy is currently just being a little bit selfish, I suppose. Whereas the feminine energy, it's nurturing self, but not in a selfish way. Okay, so trust your heart over your head this month, and that's where the blessings are for you. And for those of you where that's connecting to that love stuff, the masculine energy just needs to look at it from the feminine shoes, if that makes sense. So regardless of gender, I suppose, too, the one of you that is, and it may be masculine, feminine, okay? It may be a man and a female, but, I want to take into account, same-sex relationships and that sort of stuff as well. But, you can always put one of you is going to be a little bit more masculine than, and one of you is going to be a little bit more feminine. Usually there's a bit of a good balance there, but it's specifying that this month there is a masculine and a feminine. All right, so take that as it resonates, guys. I don't want to go down that whole rabbit hole. But the feminine energy is the safe zone, right? The feminine energy, the heart space is the safe zone. Stable, blessing. There's a blessing there, okay? And that's very connected to what we saw with that moon. So that person we were looking at before, I dare say they are the feminine in this scenario as well, okay? That you're maybe letting your head run away with you a little bit by trying to be very logical and rational about things on the love front. Okay, but like I said, take that as it resonates, because I can straight away feel that is not for every single one of you. Majority of you, it's this self-indulgent, taking care of yourself, healing for you this month, all right? But that's what we've got for you this month, Scorpio. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements. Subscribe to the channel, leave me comments, all that sort of fun stuff, and I will see you all again soon.